here, I'm going to talk about it later. There's a legal way to paint as well. Basically here, all you got to do is get permission. Verbal permission from the property owner. That's it. That's all you need. You don't have to get permission from the city, from the neighborhood. With the property owner, that's good, and you can get a wall.
For a culture and a city that cherishes vibrant colors, Bogota, Colombia takes this artwork to a new level. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to this edition of Borders on Budget. On this episode, we are in the Colombian capital on a walking tour of the graffiti surrounding the city's downtown.
So the neighbors I know for a while, haven't seen them for like 2 years, so we're still saying hi to everybody.
A slog of a hike. I'm nuclear free. Tree branch or part of a log. Jarka. Sweat.
Not just in Colombia, but all through South America. Rodez used to illustrate children's books for a really long time.
Twice a day, every day, there are tours conducted by the original Bogota Graffiti Tour. Nearest to the downtown is the Old Town and the district named Candelaria.
For example, a lot of the posters or the technique of using posters around the world came from France, and during the 1940s, the students were out protesting different things. Here in Bogota, there was kind of two spots where graffiti kind of came around. First, the hip-hop culture. There's another part that was really important, which is obviously our political side. So we've always had protests here in the country, protests since the 1940s, and every decade ever since there's been protests. And obviously that's affected a lot of the universities here. But I think they're inside of some of the hostels and some of the hotels out there. So understand that a spray can, guys, it doesn't come with a manual how to do graffiti. These guys are learning how to do this artwork on their own.
Just to make sure that not all graffiti in Bogota is political or serious, this mural depicting cartoon caricatures of rats and mice, well, yeah, this would be a prime example. Though I do take contention that of all the mice and the rats on this mural, you know, I gotta ask, where's Speedy Gonzales? Besides the graffiti, as a walking tour, guests get the opportunity to take in the sights of Bogota's downtown. And on a Sunday, that includes the pedestrian-friendly, car-free downtown and its outdoor market.
Let's see how we can progress. I think over here we can kind of go over there.
Oh wow, it's so interesting.
So the wall kept changing. Now, within the first year, this wall probably got censored about 6 different times.
If in the Candelaria, the graffiti is more social and colorful, in the downtown, the graffiti is more political in nature and does highlight Colombia's violent and murderous past.
So, the Truth Committee basically established this last year, 6,402 civilians were killed by the Colombian army during a certain period of time here. That's the number. Obviously, a lot of people think it's a lot more. This is just a number that was basically confirmed. This number is one of the messages that you'll see during the protests here in the city. You'll see 6,402 written everywhere.
Colombia's violent history includes wars related to narco-trafficking, land theft, and indigenous rights. This mural coming up tries to incorporate all of that into one wall.
So basically, when one tag goes up, that kind of opens the door for other artists or other people to come and tag on the wall. The first tag to go up on this wall, take a look at the face, a really beautiful face right there. You can kind of see it maybe a little bit in black letters, kind of across the cheek. It says Resistencia, which means resistance. We know the artists, they want to come back and renew it, give us at least the paint. They were able to donate all the paint that these guys needed to paint this wall here. You have the house servant, which is something that still happens. People still have servants in their house here in the country. But this particular object to accommodate folk kind of relates to what we call informal workers. And we have something here in the country called paramilitarism. Paramilitarism is armed groups that originally tried to arm themselves to protect their property and to protect their interests. Their knowledge, their information is never documented in any books. We don't have that information, and that information is just as important as science is as well.
So Jay, what's the importance about this painting with the indigenous and the jaguars?
So this is the important. This is a little bit of how our memory is kept alive, especially with our indigenous communities. A lot of our indigenous culture is never documented, as our indigenous communities are forced to the major cities. They're not able to adapt, and sometimes we lose these communities, we lose these traditions. And a lot of the artwork that shows us imagery wants to relay that message.
Besides beautifying ugly parts of the city, graffiti will tell a story.
It's a lot. And when you go around the city, everywhere around the city, this tells our current history, which is just as important as things that happened 20, 30 years, 100 years ago. I've been living here in Colombia for almost 5 years. Now, you guys understand the whole situation with the migration from Venezuela to Colombia, right? That's not something new. That's happened for a very long time. We have the scene of the city. This picture is a really famous picture, Medellin. Now, Netflix documentary, definitely recommended. This was a military operation backed by the Colombian police, and it went into the Comuna 13 to arrest the bad guys, to get rid of all the drug dealers, all the weapons dealers, all the weapons that were in that area. If you take a look in the middle, there's a military guy with his face covered over, and he's the guy kind of pointing out into the houses, kind of telling people who to arrest and who not to arrest. Turns out, years later, this guy was a paramilitary leader, a leader of one of these illegal rebel groups.
Will it stop?
Will it stop? It's hard. It's very hard. A lot of things have to really happen. The Truth Committee and the whole peace process, a lot has worked. I'm not saying everything is bad. There's a lot of really positive things that are coming out.
Okay. Gracias. Yeah, and that's the reality also of Bogota street life.
So, take a look right here. It's also a lot of face right here, but this particular wall.
Okay, that street corner was heavy, but that's the reality of Colombia's history. Let's end this tour on a lighter note.
It's that. No other. The Inca Empire stretched into Bogota during that time, so we have a lot of the stuff that you would see in Peru. Some of those traditions, some of those names, some of those words, foods also are part of that Inca tradition.
On the side of this building, this is the largest mural, the largest graffiti in Bogota. It is 100 meters in length and showcases the multiracial community of this country.
Because I call Bogota kind of like New York. It's a melting pot of people. This is the capital. A lot of people come here for opportunity.
Unquestionably, after taking a tour with the original Bogota Graffiti Tour, you will see Colombia's capital in a different light. This has been another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets. Local people, natural sounds, not a lot of money. From Bogota, Colombia, in the downtown, thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. At no point today did I mention anything about money, but for those of you curious, Jay, what does it cost to paint a mural such as these?
Normally a can of paint will cost anywhere between $5 and up, a professional can of paint, but then you'll have artists using all types of techniques to kind of work on their budget a little bit. Some of these walls, some of these huge walls cost thousands and thousands of dollars just in material alone.
Well, thank you, Jay. That's much appreciated. And yes, the original Bogota Graffiti Tour, it is free upon donation. Say, did you like this story? Fantastico. Don't forget, share it with your friends. Leave a thumbs up. Comments are appreciated, and so too are subscriptions.